Hey, third graders, good afternoon. It's Miss Lee, and it's already 3:44. I'm really just now getting home after distributing your work for week three. And some of you all came and picked up the work, and some of you all, we took the work to you. So I just want to go ahead and begin lesson 7 with you because this is your assignment for today. And notice at the top of your packet, your reading packet, it says week 3, day 1. And we're going to focus on recounting stories. Now, another word for recount is to remember. So remembering stories and retelling stories helps you become a better reader. So we're going to start with our learning target. It says that retelling stories will help you understand the order of events and how these events happen. We are going to read. So good storytellers take care to retell or recount the important events of the story in the order they happen. You can recount a story by telling the important events from the beginning, middle, and end of the story, the sequence, making sure that you're going in time order. You're going to read this story. Think about what is happening at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. The name of this story is How the Elephant Got Its Long Nose. A long time ago, elephants had short noses. But one day, a crocodile bit a young elephant on the nose. The elephant tried to pull away. As he pulled and pulled, his nose got longer and longer. When he pulled free, his nose was 5 feet long. He didn't like it at first. Then he found new things he could do with his long nose. He reached into the trees to grab leaves to eat. Best of all, it was fun to take baths. Now, if you go to the next page, this page is asking you to think. It wants you to fill out the chart and tell the most important events in the order they happened. So you can see here, this says beginning. This is where you will write the most important thing that happened at the beginning. You can find that in the first section of this story. So you need to think in your own words, what was the most important thing that happened at the beginning? It should have to do with the elephant, and it should have to do with the elephant's nose. Then it wants you to talk about the middle of the story. What's the most important thing in your own words? Write what happens in the middle of the story, and it should have to do with the elephant, with the crocodile, and the elephant's nose. And then it wants you to tell in your own words what happens at the end of the story. And you can find that on this page here, and you should write about the elephant and the elephant's nose, because that would kind of drive the telling of what's happening in the story. So then you can go on down and it wants you to talk. Now remember, you can talk to a brother, a sister, a parent, a grandma, an aunt, someone that you're staying with. It doesn't matter who you talk to. You can even text Miss Lee to tell me how the elephant got its long nose using words like first, next, last. Those are all very important words. And it's important that you talk to someone about these things because it helps you to comprehend what you're reading. Now, on the next page, it wants you to read The Lion and the Mouse. Now, this is a very common fable, and I do believe we've even read different types of this fable together in class. So you're going to read a fable called The Lion and the Mouse. As you're reading, make sure you pay close attention to these little boxes that help you. It wants you to underline sentences that tell important events or things that happen. As you reread, think how you would retell those events in your own words. Now it wants you to explore. What important events should you include when you recount or retell the story, The Lion and the Mouse? And look at our little moose over here. He's giving you a tip. As you recount a story, be sure to tell what the important events make the character do. So you have to think about, okay, this happened, that makes the character do this, or this happens and that makes the character do this. It's asking you to complete the chart by writing the important events in order. Now, this is talking about the lion and the mouse. So what happens at the beginning of the story that's most important with the lion and the mouse? What happens in the middle of the story that is most important? You're going to write these answers in your own words. And then what happens at the very end of the story that is the most important thing? Now, this is usually where you will write for a fable, what is the lesson that the mouse or the lion learned? And sometimes it's not even that they learn a lesson, but what can you take from that story and apply it to your life? So if you tell me here in the end that you learned not to run into a net, I'm going to tell you that's not a good answer, because you're not going to really be in circumstances where you might run into a trap. But there is something that happens at the end of this story that is an important life lesson that you can use every day. So think about that. And if you have a question about it, you need to text me. Now I want you to talk and recount or retell the whole story to a partner. Remember, a partner could be your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncles, a brother, a sister, anyone that you're around. And if you don't have anyone around you, you can talk to a stuffed animal or a toy in your room. It doesn't have to be a person. And this last portion wants you to write a short response. This is just how we do short answer questions in class. You need to use PED. You're going to restate the question and provide your answer. And then the E is your evidence. So you have to prove, I know this because, or the mouse said, or the lion said. It asks you, why does the lion tell the mouse, you were right, little one? Use the chart to help you write your answer. And you're going to write that answer on page 112. So don't write it down here in this little blank space. This is page 109. You need to write on page 112. And it gives you a hint. What important event happens just before the lion says this? That will help you to understand the short response answer. Now, page 112 is past this story, Pecos Bill. So you need to turn until you get to this page, page 112. And this is where you write the short answer to that question. And you're going to read the story about Pecos Bill, which is a tall tale. That means it's things that probably couldn't really happen in real life, but it does want to teach you a lesson. So let's read about Pecos Bill. You're going to do this by yourself. Miss Lee is not going to read to you because you are third graders and you do a great job of reading. So you're going to read through. Look, the paragraphs are already numbered for you, and it gives you a little tidbit here, close reader habits. You make sure and read this. It wants you to underline the important events from the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. And then it gives you a think option. Hang on a second. Silas is talking. Go get the remote. Go get the remote. Which sentence tells something that happens in the middle of the story? So if Miss Lee were answering this question, I would make sure and circle the word middle, because I want to think, what happens in the middle of the story? Read all of your choices. Remember, the middle of the story would not be the beginning. This is the beginning, and it would not be the end. This last paragraph would be considered the end. So you need to choose something from here that happens in the middle of the story. Number 2, why does Bill grab the rattlesnakes? You need to go back and look for the section where Bill grabs the rattlesnake. Now, you can just scan through your reading to find keywords like grab. If you can't find the word grab, make sure you're looking for those keywords to help you answer this question. And then it's going to have you talk. Remember, when you talk to anything that we just described, a parent, somebody that you're with right now, sibling, and then it's asking you to write. So this is another part where you're going to have to write your answer like a short answer question. Recount or retell the end of the story. Tell the most important events using your own words. Write your answer in the space on page 113. So you will not write your answer here. You will go, this is page 111, so you will go to page 113 to write your answer. And it gives you a hint. Reread paragraph 4 to find out what Pecos Bill does with the mountain lion. Guess what? This is going to help you to write the most important part of the end of the story. And we can find where we need to write our answer here on these lines. This is where you will write the most important events at the end of the story. And it's going to give you a checkbox. Did you read your question carefully? Can you say the question in your own words? That means you're not, you are not copying it from the story. You are using your own words to answer the question. Did you use proof or evidence? That's another word for evidence from the text in your answer. So you need to make sure you are providing that evidence. Are your ideas in a good, clear order? Did you answer in full sentences? Did you check your spelling, capital letters, and periods? You can check all of these things off as you check your work for the writing portion for Pecos Bill and the Mountain Lion, and for the writing portion of the Lion and the Mouse. And that concludes your work for Monday, April 6th, and it's labeled week 3, day 1 in your reading packet. And if you need to, please text or call me and I will try to answer all of your questions. We love you, and I'll send you another video tomorrow, and we will work on day 2 of your reading packet. Bye.